human skill as well. It's a social skill that we want to promote and build within all of our teachers.
Do you think I was rolling at that time?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I was getting my camera set up. But that was great stuff. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm back rolling again, and we have plenty of time on the card. So if you could just kind of recap what you just said, because those were really good comments, primarily about.
Diversity is a value, and as teachers and leaders, you know, just people who work in school, we tend to say we believe all children can learn, but when we truly examine that value with our actions and try to align that, sometimes we find that there's a disconnect between what we say and what we actually do and how we actually behave. So it's the same thing with cultural competency. We need to make sure that if we say we appreciate diversity and believe that it's important in our schools, then we have to align our behaviors and our actions and our decisions with that belief, and make sure that our mindset is one that's aligned with that value as well. And that's something that I always try to do, and make sure that I'm keenly aware of the decisions that I make every single day, because I don't want to be a leader that puts up barriers, and I don't want to be one that just promotes, for example, I'm bilingual, but I know that it's just not about being able to speak Spanish to my families.
Right.
I want to be bicultural as well. I want to be able to approach my families in a way that's respectful and gives them the dignity that they deserve as well. And so it's about access and opportunity.
Some of the challenging things that will have to occur is that conversation with your staff, with your teachers, because at the heart of it, to me, hearing this, it seems like the status quo is not working, and we see this as a result of the achievement gap. We're going to try some things, and one of the things is trying to have teachers and principals relate differently to students, to perhaps foster a better connection, help them learn, come to their level, or see things in a different way. So it seems to me at the heart of it is saying, teachers, what you're doing is not right. You need some more education. Is that a hard thing to sell to educators when they've had their education in teaching, and they know the pedagogy tells them this and that? Should they be more concerned with? Is it a hard sell to get them to get away from, you know, just the A, B, and C's of reading, writing, arithmetic, and learn this other skill set?
I don't necessarily think that you have to take the approach with teachers that what you have been doing has not been working. But I do believe that you don't have to be sick to get better. And that as the world is changing and the dynamics of our school is changing, then we have to change the way we do things as well. We have to change the way we operate within those systems. And that as someone that's loyal to a system, the education system that's been very good to me, and that I respect the education system, I love schooling, I know that there are roadblocks and challenges within that system. So when our families enter them, they are vulnerable. I don't believe that our students and our families are at risk. I believe our systems are. And so when they enter those, they begin to take on those behaviors. And so it's not so much that our teachers have been doing things wrong or have been doing things inappropriately. We just need a different way or new approach or a different mindset. We have been doing, we have a new curriculum with Common Core. Right. There is no way that we can fully implement the wide range of skills that our students need to learn with Common Core by continuing the way we have taught before in the past. And incorporating global awareness and 21st century skills is critical in order to ensure that our students are learning at the pace that they need to learn. And so this is not just about cultural competency, it's about ensuring that our students are truly able to perform at high levels and compete on a global scale.
Do you think this whole thing has become too much about black and white, about white teachers needing to adapt to how children of color learn? It seems like that will be the most attractive if you're trying to write a scandalating newspaper article. That would be the thing that people hone in on. But is it more than just about helping African American kids or Latino kids, teaching them to their level, communicating with them in their level? Is it more than that?
Yes, it is more than a black and white issue. It is more than just about closing the achievement gap. However, I want to be able, as a school leader, to not predict the outcome of a black boy that enters my building just by the color of his skin. I want to be able to say that this child will be successful in my school by the merits of his efforts and by his hard work, and not because he is vulnerable to the biases, implicit or explicit, of a system that he's entering. And at this point, we're not sure that we can say that. The achievement gaps exist for a reason, and we've been trying to throw cures at the achievement gap, but not really having honest and crucial conversations about race. And so race is one piece to it, but until we really understand that relationships matter, it's about relationships, it's about making content relevant, it's about being culturally proficient, and it's not so much about the color of one's skin, but truly understanding what is it about your values and traditions that make you who you are. When you walk into my classroom, when you walk into this building, how can I connect to you on a level to ensure that we are truly partners and that I'm truly dedicated to make sure that your student is successful and that the outcomes that we want for your child are the same and we are on the same page. That's what we need to get to. And that should be consistent across the board regardless of that student's race.
Will this be a hard sell, public-wise, in the community, with teachers? Will this be a hard sell? And if so, is it worth the fight?
It's worth the fight. It's definitely worth the fight until every single student in this system is graduating, until the success of every single student in CMS can no longer be predicted by the color of their skin or by their zip code. It's worth the fight. So
you've probably heard about some of the methods that this cultural competency training may take place. There's one gentleman named Mr. Singleton. You got a book on there? You got his book, huh?
Yeah, I had his training 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, one of the things I think people want to know is, hey, are we guinea pigs here? Has this been proven? Has another district tried this? Mm-hmm. And maybe there's not credible or sufficient research to say, look at that, let's do that because it's working. Where Dr. Morrison is bringing this on board, I guess it's more of a challenge to the district. It's not, look at this, we're going to duplicate these numbers. Common Core was kind of based on, we want to get our test scores so they're similar to all around the world and all around the state. That seems to be evidence-based. But what do you say to critics who say there's no evidence that that this is something that's going to work, and we're going to have to spend money to try it out, and our kids may be, and our staff may be guinea pigs, and this may be, a hot topic?
Because there truly isn't a lot of research out there that correlates this type of training to student achievement gains. And there is, however, to the contrary, a lot of research that correlates effective, highly qualified instruction that's data-driven to student achievement gains. And so having a wonderful, great, data-driven, effective teacher in every classroom is more important than investing a lot of time and energy into convincing people that this is the way to go. However, we are in a system where we have wide achievement gaps, where our students are still being educated in this K-12 in the same district by the same teachers. Why do these gaps exist? We need to take a holistic approach, but we cannot fix this issue by looking at it at by throwing programs at it all the time. You know what I'm saying? We have to look at it on a system level. We also have to look at it at an individual student level as well. But as a school leader, I know that relationships matter. I want every single teacher in my building, I want every single staff member to understand that relationships are critical, and that the ability to grasp that understanding, that true appreciation for the culture and the background of every single student is necessary to make that relationship meaningful. And when we can develop instruction and make it relevant and adjust instruction to make it relevant to students on that level, then we will see more gains. We have a wonderful example with Devonshire, where they're starting to adjust their reading program to make it more relevant to their boys of color. And so why not look at best practice?
Rolling a video. When you hear the word cultural competency, what does that mean to you? I imagine with such a contentious topic, it may mean a lot of things to other people, but from a point of leadership as a principal, what do you think, what does that mean to you?
When I think of cultural competency, it means a lot of things. It means that when we welcome our families into our school, we need to understand that they're not just faces, that they're coming to us with traditions, they're coming to us with values and beliefs. And because of those values and beliefs, they're also coming to us with judgments and ways to interact with the systems that they encounter and the people that they encounter. And so we need to be aware of that also. And so as they interact with schools, we need to be aware of any types of implicit. Can I start over?
Sure, just keep talking. I'm listening. What I do is I kind of listen for sound bites, like little 20-second bites, and you've had a few of them so far. So just.
So as we welcome families, we need to make sure that we welcome everything that they encompass, not just that child, but the entire community as well. Because when we interact through the lens of our values and our norms and our traditions. And so we need to make sure that we honor those in the school environment as well. And for teachers to be able to tap into that within the classroom is very impactful. And in order to make that content relevant to students on that level, it can make those connections more meaningful in the classroom as well. Okay. And so when you're competent in that sense, it's not so much being an expert on everyone's culture in your classroom. I think that's unreasonable to expect teachers to know the culture of every single student in their classroom. So it's not so much a knowledge base or being an expert, but it's having a grasp, an understanding, a mindset that it's important for me to understand and realize that these students are coming to me with a unique set of values and norms and traditions, and that I can tap into that I can show an appreciation and welcome that and appreciate it in my classroom. And as a school leader, I know that I need to be aware of any implicit biases that I have that may put barriers that may prevent families from fully accessing the full benefits of school. For example, being a culturally competent leader means, what is it about the systems within my building that may have, what is it about the systems that I oversee, whether it's scheduling, whether it's student placement, whether it's how students are suspended? Am I monitoring those systems and processes so that those implicit biases aren't slipping through? And so I need to be constantly aware that those things are occurring in my building.
Okay. Why do you think it's important to undertake this now?